America, for months, we warned that passing the so-called infrastructure bill was a mistake. Even as a standalone bill, the $1.2 trillion infrastructure legislation was not a win. It didn't cost zero. It wasn't paid for. It will increase the national debt, spends more money on advancing Green New Deal agenda than funding actual roads and bridges, steel and concrete. Only 9% of new spending in the bill goes towards roads and bridges. Billions of dollars are allocated for tearing down and rebuilding so-called racist highways, establishing a pilot program for vehicle mileage taxes in the bill, subsidizing electric vehicles while increasing fuel and maintenance costs on gas-powered cars, and prioritizing large urban centers over rural communities. That's all in the infrastructure bill. And that's just some of the socialist garbage contained in those 2,700 pages. It raises taxes on Louisiana job creators, costing our state $1.3 billion while returning $1.1 billion for roads and bridges. It's a losing deal. But most significantly, the infrastructure bill was the gateway to Democrats' reconciliation bill, the most expensive and radical piece of legislation in our history. Without the infrastructure bill, Democrats would not have the votes for the second half of their socialist agenda. And shame on anyone who would trade away their children and grandchildren's future, America as we know it, for a little bit of pavement. Their $4 trillion tax and spend monstrosity is filled with Green New Deal agenda, unprecedented deficit spending, and job-killing tax increases that will hit every American family. Their socialist bill creates over 150 government programs, new programs, harms U.S. energy production, grants mass amnesty plus federal benefits to illegal immigrants, weaponizes the IRS against American citizens, and advances Biden's unconstitutional vax mandate, and eliminates Hyde pro-life protections. We're facing $30 trillion in debt, the highest inflation over 30 years, crippling labor shortages and supply chain challenges, the worst border crisis in our history, and Democrats are focused on the further expansion of big government, spending trillions of dollars we don't have. It's a recipe for disaster. Listen, Democrats will pass this bill in the House. Passing the infrastructure bill enabled them to get it done. And now they don't need a single Republican vote. But this fight isn't over. There's still significant battle to be had in the Senate. And please know that I'll be working with my colleagues in the Senate to wage war against the socialist monstrosity. Patriots must stand strong for America, for future generations yet unborn. Our battle continues.